Every one of us wakes up each day with a silent war inside, a war between how we feel and what we know is right. Emotions rise like waves, but your mind was designed to be the anchor. If you let feelings control you, they will shape your future in ways you never intended. But when you train your mind, you gain mastery over every storm. Today, we will discover how to take control of the one thing that truly defines your destiny: your emotions. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not with people, not with systems, not even with the circumstances around you, but with your own inner world. The power of mastering your inner world is what separates those who drift through life, tossed by every wind of emotion, from those who walk with direction, with clarity, with stability. You see, life is not determined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to interpret and respond to it. And that response is born from the condition of your inner world. If your emotions dominate your thoughts, then chaos becomes your master. But if your mind governs your emotions, then peace, discipline, and strength become your portion. When you master your inner world, you no longer allow anger to make decisions for you. You no longer allow fear to dictate your future. You no longer allow sadness to paralyze your purpose. Instead, your mind becomes the pilot, steering your emotions into alignment with your goals, your vision, and your destiny. Think about it. How many opportunities are lost because of anger? How many relationships are destroyed because of uncontrolled emotions? How many dreams die not because of lack of potential, but because the inner world was never mastered? The truth is, your emotions were never meant to be the driver. They were designed to be passengers. They can come along for the journey, but they cannot decide the destination. Your mind, your reasoning, your discipline must be the driver. But how do you get there? You train. You discipline your thoughts. You filter your emotions. You teach yourself to pause before reacting. Because power is not in reaction. Power is in response. Do you realize that every successful person you admire has mastered this principle? They feel emotions just like you, but they have learned how to harness them. They know when to speak and when to remain silent. They know when to act and when to wait. That is not weakness, that is strength. True strength is not in lifting heavy weights. It is in lifting heavy emotions and keeping them under control. Imagine what your life would look like if your mind truly became the ruler of your emotions. How much peace would you enjoy? How much progress would you make? How many regrets would you avoid? You have more power inside you than you think, but that power will never be unlocked until your inner world is disciplined. And here's the question you must ask yourself today. Will you allow your emotions to rule your life? Or will you rise and take back control of your inner world? Because if you can master this, if you can truly take control of your emotions, you will be ready for the next key, and that is understanding why your mind must lead and not your feelings. Why must your mind lead and not your feelings? Because feelings are temporary, they shift with the weather, they rise and fall with circumstances. But your mind was created to stand on truth, on reason, and on principles. Emotions will tell you one thing in the morning, and by evening, they whisper something entirely different. If you let them lead, your life will become a roller coaster, unpredictable, unstable, and unreliable. But when your mind takes the lead, your steps become steady, your direction becomes clear, and your decisions align with purpose rather than impulse. Think about this. How many choices have been made in anger, only to be regretted later? How many words have been spoken in the heat of emotion, words that could never be taken back? Feelings may feel powerful in the moment, but they are often blind to the future. Your mind, however, has the ability to weigh outcomes, to measure consequences, to consider the long term before making a move. That is why your mind must always lead, and your emotions must follow. Your feelings might say, "Quit, it's too hard." But your mind says, stay, push through, there's growth in this struggle. Your emotions might say, get revenge, they hurt you. But your mind says, forgive, let go, protect your peace. Your emotions might say, spend it all, Sal, satisfy the desire now. But your mind says, wait, invest, think about tomorrow. Can you see the difference? One is short-sighted, the other is guided by wisdom. The danger of letting emotions lead is that they exaggerate reality. Fear makes the mountain look bigger than it is. Anger makes the offense seem heavier than it really was. Lust makes the temptation appear sweeter than it could ever be. But the mind, when trained and disciplined, pulls back the curtain and sees things as they really are. That is why you must never give emotions the steering wheel of your life, because once they take control, the crash is inevitable. So how do you make sure your mind leads? You must feed it truth. You must guard it from lies. You must renew it daily with thoughts that align with vision, not just feelings. Because your mind cannot lead if it is empty, weak, or poisoned with negativity. A trained mind is like a compass in the storm. It will always point you back to true north, no matter how violent the emotions around you may be. Ask yourself this: who is really in charge right now? Is it your emotions pulling you from left to right, making decisions you later regret? Or is it your mind rooted in discipline, anchored in purpose, guiding your steps with wisdom? The answer to that question will decide the course of your life. And once you understand this, once you see the necessity of letting your mind lead, then you are ready to face the next truth, that emotions are great servants, but dangerous masters. Emotions are great servants, but they are dangerous masters. When emotions serve you, they bring color to life. They give energy to your vision. They add passion to your purpose. Joy makes you celebrate progress. Compassion makes you care for others. Love makes you give without limits. These emotions, when placed in the right order, become fuel for greatness. But the moment emotions take the driver's seat, the same joy can blind you to danger. The same compassion can make you ignore wisdom. And the same love can cause you to stay where you do not belong. Think about it. A servant is useful as long as they are in their position. But if that servant rises up and tries to rule the house, chaos begins. Emotions are the same. They are wonderful when they follow, but destructive when they lead. Anger, when kept under control, can be used as strength to fight for justice. But uncontrolled anger can destroy relationships, break trust, and even cost you opportunities. Fear, when kept in order, can protect you from unnecessary danger. But when fear rules you, it paralyzes your steps, kills your faith, and stops you from ever moving forward. Do you see the pattern? Every emotion can be a gift when it is your servant, but becomes a curse when it is your master. Many people live as prisoners to their own emotions. They don't make decisions, their feelings do. They don't choose relationships, their emotions do. They don't shape their destiny, their moods control it. But let me remind you, no emotion has the right to define your future unless you give it permission. You were designed to rule over your emotions, not be enslaved by them. A servant must always be reminded of their place. When you feel anger rising, you must tell it, "You will not control me." When fear begins to whisper, you must say, "You are not my master." When sadness tries to sit on the throne of your heart, you must declare, "You are only a servant, not my ruler." That discipline is what keeps your life in order, your relationships in peace, and your vision on track. So let me ask you a question. Are your emotions serving you, or are they ruling you? Because the answer to that will explain why your life is either in order or in chaos. If your emotions are in control, your life will be unstable, unpredictable, and filled with regret. But if you place them back where they belong as servants, then you will walk in clarity, strength, and direction. And once you understand this principle, Once you learn that emotions must be servants and never masters, then you are ready to discover the next key, how to train the mind to respond, not just react. Training the mind to respond, not just react, is one of the greatest disciplines you can ever master. Reaction is instant, it is emotional, it is uncontrolled. Response is thoughtful, it is measured, it is intentional. A reaction is like a spark that jumps out of the fire without direction, but a response is like a flame guided into purpose. When you only react, your emotions are in charge. But when you respond, your mind has taken control. How many people have lost opportunities because of a reaction? How many relationships have been broken because someone reacted without thinking? How many careers have been destroyed by a single reaction that could not be taken back? Reactions are dangerous because they are driven by feelings of the moment without considering the consequences of tomorrow. But when you train your mind to pause, to think, to weigh the options, you shift from reaction to response. And in that moment, you gain power. A response does not mean you suppress how you feel. It means you take control of how you express it. Anger might rise, but instead of exploding in rage, you choose to channel it into constructive words. Fear might whisper, but instead of running away, you choose to face the challenge with wisdom. Even excitement, which feels positive, must be managed, because reacting out of excitement can make you leap without looking, spend without planning, or trust without discernment. But when you respond, you allow your emotions to be acknowledged without allowing them to dominate. Training your mind to respond requires patience. It requires discipline. It requires teaching yourself to pause, even when everything in you wants to lash out, shut down, or run away. That pause, even if it's only a few seconds, creates space for wisdom to speak. That space is where clarity is born, where perspective is found, and where decisions become guided by purpose, not pressure. Think of it like this: a reaction is like lightning, fast, powerful, but often destructive. A response is like the sun, steady, consistent, bringing life rather than destruction. Which one do you want guiding your life? The quick flash that disappears and leaves damage, or the steady light that nurtures your future? So let me ask you, are you reacting to life, or are you responding to it? Because the answer determines whether your future will be built on regret or on wisdom. Reactions may give you temporary satisfaction, but responses give you lasting results. And once you master the discipline of response over reaction, you will be prepared for the next step, the one that builds the bridge between your emotions and your destiny, the principle of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between feelings and destiny. Without discipline, emotions run wild, decisions lose focus, and dreams remain nothing more than wishes. Discipline is what takes you from where you are to where you are meant to be. It is not about denying emotions, but about directing them. You see, passion without discipline becomes destruction. Desire without discipline becomes distraction. But when discipline is in place, even the strongest emotions can be harnessed to serve your purpose. Think about an athlete. They feel tired, they feel pain, they feel the desire to quit. But discipline says, keep going, the goal is greater than the feeling. A leader may feel fear when making tough decisions, but discipline says, stand firm, courage is greater than fear. A student may feel the urge to give up when the work gets hard, but discipline says, push forward, knowledge is worth the struggle. Do you see it? Discipline doesn't erase emotions. It puts them under authority. It channels them toward the future. Feelings will tell you, do it later, but discipline says, do it now. Emotions may whisper, take the easy road, but discipline declares, the narrow road leads to life. Feelings may cry, it hurts too much, but discipline answers, this pain is temporary, but the reward is eternal. Discipline is the voice that rises above emotions, guiding you to stay consistent, to stay focused, to stay aligned with destiny. Without discipline, your emotions will make promises your actions cannot keep. Without discipline, you will start things with passion, but never finish them with persistence. Without discipline, your destiny will remain locked, not because you lacked talent, but because you lacked control. That is why discipline is the bridge. It takes you from the emotional desire to the actual fulfillment of purpose. Discipline is not easy, but it is always worth it. Every dream requires sacrifice. Every vision demands consistency. Every destiny calls for restraint. And the truth is, discipline will always cost you something: comfort, convenience, or even approval. But the price of discipline is nothing compared to the price of regret. Ask yourself, are you willing to pay the price now, or will you live paying the price later? Because here's the reality: feelings will fade, but discipline will carry you. Emotions will shift, but discipline will anchor you. And destiny will only open its doors to those who are willing to cross the bridge of discipline. And once you understand the power of discipline, once you begin to practice it daily, you will be ready to face the silent war that so many ignore, the constant battle between thought and emotion. There is a silent battle happening every single day, and it is not outside of you, it is within you. It is the battle between thought and emotion. This war is quiet, but it is powerful, and the outcome of this battle determines the outcome of your life. Every decision you make, every choice you take, every direction you follow is the result of which side wins, your mind or your emotions. Emotions scream for attention. They are loud, urgent, and often impulsive. They say, do it now, say it now, react right away. But your thoughts, when trained, speak with wisdom. They say, wait, consider, measure, think first. If emotions win, you may gain temporary relief but lose long-term progress. If thoughts win, you may sacrifice the moment, but you secure your future. This is the silent battle, and it is fought in every conversation, every opportunity, every challenge. Consider a conflict with someone you love. Emotion shouts, yell back, prove your point, defend yourself. Thought whispers, stay calm. Listen, choose your words carefully. Which one do you listen to? That choice decides whether the relationship is healed or broken. Think about opportunities in life. Emotion says, take it, grab it, don't miss out. Thought says, study it, weigh it, see if it aligns with your purpose. Which voice do you obey? That choice decides whether you walk into blessing or into regret. The danger is that emotions feel stronger in the moment. They rush through your body, they cloud your judgment, they press for immediate action. But strength does not always mean truth. Just because it feels powerful does not mean it is right. Thoughts may feel quieter, slower, less urgent, but wisdom often whispers while emotions scream. The mature person learns to silence the noise of feelings long enough to hear the steady voice of reason. This silent battle cannot be avoided. You cannot escape emotions, and you cannot escape thoughts, but you can train your mind to win. That training requires discipline, patience, and constant awareness. Every time you pause before reacting, you are training. Every time you weigh your feelings against your principles, you are training. Every time you choose wisdom over impulse, you are winning the battle. And each victory builds strength for the next fight. So let me ask you, in this silent war between thought and emotion, who has been winning in your life? If emotion is winning, you will see instability, inconsistency, and regret. If thought is winning, you will see clarity, stability, and progress. The outcome of your life is proof of which one rules inside you. And once you begin to master this inner war, once you learn to let thought lead and emotion follow, then you will be ready to uncover the deeper truth, how to rule your heart before it rules you. If you do not learn how to rule your heart will rule you. And when the heart rules without guidance, it leads to confusion, deception, and regret. The heart is powerful. It is the seat of emotions, desires, and affections, but it was never designed to lead without the discipline of the mind. If you let your heart lead, you will fall in love with the wrong things, you will chase temporary pleasures, and you will ignore long-term consequences. But when you rule your heart, when you put it under the authority of wisdom, then your emotions, your desires, and your passions serve your destiny instead of destroying it. How many people have said, "I followed my heart," only to end up in pain? How many choices were made in the heat of desire, only to later bring regret? The heart can feel deeply, but it cannot see clearly. It feels the moment, but it does not measure the outcome. That is why your heart must not sit on the throne. Your mind, guided by wisdom, must. The heart can inspire, but the mind must decide. When you rule your heart, you guard it from deception. Not every feeling is true. Not every desire is right. Not every passion is healthy. Your heart can be influenced by emotions, by circumstances, even by the words of others. But when your mind rules, it filters those feelings through truth and principle. It asks, does this align with my purpose? Does this bring me closer to destiny or pull me further away? Only then can your heart be trusted, because it has been trained under authority. Ruling your heart does not mean becoming cold or emotionless. It means guiding your emotions so they work for you and not against you. Love becomes stronger when it is directed by wisdom. Passion becomes more powerful when it is disciplined by vision. Even pain can become a teacher when the heart is ruled by the mind. This is the balance that brings maturity. This is the order that brings stability. So let me ask you, are you ruling your heart, or is your heart ruling you? If your heart rules you, you will find yourself constantly moved by feelings, chasing things that do not last, and regretting decisions that felt right in the moment, but destroyed your future. But if you rule your heart, you gain control of your life, you protect your destiny, and you walk in stability no matter what emotions rise inside you. And once you understand how to rule your heart, once you learn to place it under the guidance of your mind, then you are ready for the next powerful truth, the renewing of the mind that produces emotional stability. Renewing the mind is the key to emotional stability. You cannot control emotions with an old mindset, because an untrained mind will always surrender to feelings. The mind must be renewed daily, reshaped, reprogrammed to think differently, to see differently, to process life from the lens of wisdom and not impulse. If your mind is full of negativity, your emotions will reflect that negativity. If your mind is full of fear, your emotions will constantly tremble. If your mind is full of anger, your emotions will always be on edge. But when your mind is renewed, your emotions begin to follow the order of peace, clarity, and stability. The renewing of the mind is not a one-time event. It is a daily process. Every day you must decide what you allow in your thoughts. What are you feeding your mind? What words are you listening to? What voices are you giving space to? Because whatever you consistently feed your mind will shape your emotions. Garbage in, garbage out. Wisdom in, peace out. When your mind is filled with truth, with vision, with principles, your emotions will reflect stability, not chaos. A renewed mind does not let circumstances control it. It does not shift just because situations change. Storms may come, pressure may rise, but a renewed mind stays anchored. And when the mind stays anchored, emotions remain steady. That is why some people can face storms and still smile, still remain calm, still make wise decisions, while others collapse under the weight of panic. The difference is not in what they face. The difference is in the condition of their mind. Renewing the mind means replacing lies with truth, replacing fear with faith, replacing doubt with confidence, replacing confusion with clarity. And the more you practice this, the stronger your mind becomes, and the less power emotions have over you. The renewed mind becomes like a filter. It allows truth to pass, but blocks the lies. It receives wisdom, but rejects deception. It accepts peace, but refuses chaos. And that filter keeps emotions from becoming toxic. Ask yourself, when was the last time you renewed your mind? When was the last time you challenged the thoughts that stirred up fear or replaced the lies that fueled insecurity? If your emotions are unstable, it is often a reflection of a neglected mind. But if you take responsibility to renew it daily, your emotions will come into order and stability will become your normal. Because here is the truth: you cannot stop emotions from coming, but you can stop them from controlling you. And the secret to that control is the renewal of the mind. And once your mind is renewed, once your emotions become stable, then you are ready to embrace the deeper secret, the key to lasting peace and clear decisions. The secret to lasting peace and clear decisions is learning how to align your emotions with principles rather than impulses. Peace does not come from avoiding problems. It comes from mastering yourself in the middle of problems. Clear decisions are not born in moments of chaos. They are born when the mind has been trained to see beyond emotion, beyond pressure, and beyond the noise of the moment. If your emotions are unchecked, your peace will always be temporary, and your decisions will always be clouded. But if your emotions are brought under order, then peace becomes permanent and decisions become clear. Peace is not the absence of storms. Peace is the ability to stand still while the storm rages around you. Many people believe that once everything is calm, then they will finally feel peace. But the truth is, life will always bring storms, challenges, and pressures. If your peace depends on circumstances, you will never have lasting peace. True peace comes when your emotions are no longer in control, when your mind has been trained to stay steady no matter what is happening around you. And out of peace flows clarity. Decisions made in anger are dangerous. Decisions made in fear are destructive. Decisions made in excitement can be deceiving. But decisions made from a place of peace are wise, stable, and lasting. Peace clears the fog. It removes the noise. It allows you to weigh options with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion. That is why so many people regret decisions, because they made them in the heat of emotion instead of the calm of peace. The key is alignment. When your mind is aligned with principles, not moods, your emotions begin to follow. Principles are unchanging. They do not rise and fall like feelings. They are steady, they are constant, they are dependable. If you live by principles, you will not be easily swayed. If you decide by principles, you will not be easily deceived. Peace and clarity come when emotions are guided by principles instead of being guided by pressure. So let me ask you, are you making your decisions from a place of peace or from a place of panic? Are you building your future on the solid foundation of principles or on the shaky ground of feelings? The answer to that question explains why some people walk in stability while others live in regret. Lasting peace and clear decisions are not accidents. They are the results of discipline, renewal, and alignment. And once you begin to walk in this peace, once you learn to make clear decisions rooted in principles, you will discover the highest level of emotional mastery, aligning your mind with purpose, not mood. Aligning your mind with purpose, not mood, is the ultimate key to mastering your emotions and securing your destiny. Moods are unstable. They shift with weather, with circumstances, with the opinions of others. One day you feel motivated, the next day you feel discouraged. One moment you are full of joy, the next moment you are weighed down with doubt. If you allow moods to govern your decisions, your life will constantly rise and fall with them. But when you align your mind with purpose, you find stability, direction, and strength that no mood can shake. Purpose is bigger than feelings. Purpose is greater than moods. Purpose is what keeps you moving when you don't feel like moving, what keeps you fighting when you don't feel like fighting, What keeps you focused when distractions are screaming for your attention? Emotions may say, "Stop, it's too hard." Moods may whisper, "Wait, maybe tomorrow." But purpose declares, "Keep going. Your destiny is worth it." Purpose is the anchor that keeps your mind steady, even when emotions rise like waves. When your mind is aligned with purpose, you no longer live by how you feel. You live by what you were born to do. You make decisions not because of mood swings, but because of destiny. You choose relationships not because they make you feel good for a moment, but because they help you fulfill your vision. You discipline your time, not because you're in the mood to be productive, but because purpose demands consistency. This is the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who waste potential. One lives by moods, the other lives by purpose. So the question is, what is guiding your mind today? Are you led by moods that shift like shadows? Or are you led by purpose that remains steady no matter what comes your way? When moods lead, life becomes unstable. But when purpose leads, life becomes unstoppable. Moods will change, but purpose never changes. And if your mind is fixed on purpose, your emotions will eventually align themselves because feelings were designed to follow direction. When you choose purpose over mood, peace becomes your companion, clarity becomes your guide, and discipline becomes your lifestyle. You stop reacting to life and start leading it. You stop being a slave to emotions and start using them as fuel for your vision. That is the power of a mind anchored in purpose. So today I leave you with this challenge. Do not let your moods dictate your future. Do not let temporary emotions rob you of eternal destiny. Anchor your mind in purpose. Let it govern your decisions. Let it rule over your emotions. Because the moment you align your mind with purpose, you rise above fear, you silence doubt, and you take your rightful place as the master of your emotions. And if you truly embrace this, if you truly choose to live by purpose and not by mood, then nothing in life will be able to stop you from reaching the destiny that was always waiting for you.